All right, today I'm going to show you guys the coaching adjustments you should be using in Madden 24. Now, I make this video about once a month to see if anything's changed or if anything stayed the same. And today there's probably one or two things that I've done differently since the last coaching adjustments video. Before we get into it, drop a like, subscribe. Make sure you take advantage of the full scheme breakdowns in the members area. These are setups and schemes. They're going to help you win at the elite level. People have already won Super Bowls using our stuff. We also have a Discord for members as well. I will be posting the link probably Monday again. I gotta get a refresh link because they expire on Discord. It's crazy. I don't know why they do that. But anyway, we have $33 Cub, Wild Trio Week. We have Skimbo's offense, defense, another pro players coming, the Wild Trips Pats, everything you need to dominate, man. So let's talk about this. We're gonna start offense today because typically I save it for last, but let's just get it out the way. So deep pass catching. All right, you'll notice that you have conservative and aggressive. I don't really mess with these. You could, if you need to be inside like the red zone and you need to catch like a high ball, you could put, maybe you're not in the red zone, but maybe say like you're at the 40 and you're running out of time, bro, right? And you need the catch. You can set this to aggressive, but this is very situational. I would leave it on balance unless you really need to go to aggressive for like 4th and 30. You feel me? That's the only time I would probably use it. However, you have to be careful because you will always trigger an aggressive catch attempt. If you're wide open, guess what happens? It's still an aggressive catch attempt. So the animations are different. So remember that. Intermediate pass catching, I'll leave that on balance. Blocking, don't touch that. Ball carrier, if you don't want to fumble, you go to conservative. You'll lose your juking. Remember that. If you're in the red zone or it's late in the game, you need to pound it into the end zone. Put this on aggressive. Higher chance of triggering auto break tackles, but you do increase your fumble chances. So make sure you're holding that RB button while you're trucking and all that, and I think you're going to be all right. And then I leave it on balance for now so I can juke, but some people that are using Bo Jackson, they may fumble a little bit more than others. It's what I've noticed so far. So I'm just going to pick something on offense so we can get to the defensive side. On defense, and I messed that up. My apologies. Let's go back to defense so you guys can actually see it. Okay, on defense, you'll have the auto flip defensive play call on or off. This is going to flip your defense to the best match the offense formation. So if there's a trip formations like the Trey wide flex, the trips where you have 3 wide receivers on one side, if you're picking a cover 3, that inside third will line up to the trip side. If you don't and you have this off and you pick a cover 3 and the blue's on the wrong side, guess what? You're getting cooked on the seam routes right up the seam, right up the middle of the field. They're going to cook you, and the better players know to attack that. That's their first read, right? They want to see if you made that adjustment to slow it down in cover 3. So make sure you have this on if you're newer to Madden. Typically what I do is because I run the same style of blitzes, I'll leave it on off. So I have to flip the play. If you're using the nickel 3-3, right, which is what they consider meta right now, you'll probably want to leave this off so you can flip it yourself, right? Because it's going to get confusing according to what your opponent's picking. So leave this off if you're running the blitzes, on if you're newer to Madden. Auto alignment right here, you leave it on default. They'll just align to their default adjustment rules. So trips formations, if you're running like a 3-3, your linebackers will leverage more toward the trip side. And if you put this on base, then they'll just go to their base assignment. So wherever your play art looks like, okay, so like right here, you see the blues right here, let's go to something more believable, right? The 3-3, they'll line up exactly like this in a base format. They'll look exactly like what you see these bubbles. That's where they're going to be. So remember that. And then in man, if you're running man defense, you probably want to put that on man so they line up on the receivers. If you're running zone, you put this in man, you're going to get confused. Your adjustments are going to be way off. So be careful running auto alignment on man, but running zone defense doesn't make sense. Okay, so what I've changed this year is I go to play ball a lot now because I have pick artists on my corners. And with play ball and pick artists, these guys are more inclined to get the pick than just swatting the ball. However, there is a catch to this. If they play ball, all right, and you're playing man defense, a 1v1, they're going to go for a pick, and if they miss it, it's a touchdown, pretty much, because they're going to get trapped in a crazy animation. So remember that. Swap ball is something that you want to use toward the end of the second quarter, maybe the end of the game. You don't need the interception. You just don't want them to catch the damn ball. Swap ball will give you animations that are just crazy in this game for swats, bro. And you think there's a completion or it's going over your head and these guys just jump 6 feet in the air and they swat the ball. You've seen it. It's happened to you. Probably happened for you. Now, you can put this by height in the red zone because they will try to throw a high ball on you with like a tight end. So you can match up your personnel to be the same height in the red zone. So remember that. If you're playing man defense, this is probably crucial for you to use. Option defense, if the quarterback keeps the ball, I go to conservative and I leave it there the whole game. I'll give them one. But if they do one, then I know they're inclined to do it more. I'll leave this on conservative. That way they focus on the QB on the option. And my team is powerful enough to where I can leave this on conservative and they'll still stop if they give the running back the ball, they'll still stop it. So I'll put down conservative and it never moves. If you need a turnover, go to aggressive. You go to strip ball aggressive, but remember that you could get I don't know if it's penalties this year or they just break tackles a lot easier. Be careful with this. But I go balanced to aggressive. I rarely use conservative. Okay, so tackling now, right here, if you're facing a really good running back, you can mess around with this to aggressive. They'll try to hit stick tackles for higher fumble chances. Now, here's the cool thing: if you're running a lot of blitzes, you put this on aggressive, and they'll hit stick the quarterback, son. I don't know a lot of people knew this, but that's what happens. Conservative if you're facing better running backs, but I typically leave it on balanced. Now, the bread and butter is your flats. If you're trying to stop corner routes, it's cloud flats. It's not curl flats. Curl flats are not going to help you. Your best bet to stop a corner route is 25-30 from flats, and then you're going to have to manually drag them out. So 30, let's just go ahead and pick a cover 2, right? And what I mean by this is you see this, you'll see on defense that there's a, I'm not on, let me flip sides real quick, just so you guys can see. Let's just snap the ball and go down. But on defense, you'll see my cloud flat this way, if it hurries up. My apologies. All right, let's come back to it. Let's go ahead and go to a cover 2. Let's just do 3-3 Tampa 2. This is more believable, and it will be done. So what you're gonna have to do, right, and this is an unfortunate situation, is you could take this guy, right, and you could put him either on a blue, but if you leave him on the flat, you're gonna have to bring him back, bro. You're gonna have to. You have no choice in this game, because they're going to cook you. And then you can put this guy on the curl flat at 5 yards. So the curl flat will go 5 yards. The cloud flat will go 30 to stop a corner route if you believe that a corner route is coming. Alternatively, you could user this guy and put this guy on the curl flat. That way he's closer to the flat, and you set your curl flats to 5 yards. So remember that. That's very crucial. I think it's key that you understand that cloud flats aren't as good as people think they are. You know what I mean? They're not. So flats, if you're trying to stop the corner routes at 30. Now, if you're not worried about the corner routes, you can start at 10. They need less yards. It's 5, 15, 25, 30. Curl flats to 5. Typically, I'll never go anywhere else but 5 with curl flats. I don't use them. I'd rather use cloud flats than curl flats. Remember that. Cloud flats play a lot better. Hooks, if the quarterback's moving a lot or he's throwing a bunch of check down rounds, you set this to 5. If he's throwing behind your linebackers, put to 15. The sweet spot is 10. So remember, 35-10, something that you could use. And in zone coverage, if you're running cover 3 seams, you're running cover 4 quarters, you can set this to match so they man up the people they're supposed to. And you can leave it on default if you're just running regular zone. So match if you're running match defense, default if you're not. So remember that. Now remember that cover 2 has a soft squad that matches. So you could put DB Fire 2 and turn this on match. You could do that as well. All right, because it's not a cover 3, it's not a cover 4. But it's a cover 2 that still matches. So remember that. You probably give up the flats, but you'll match. Just in case you guys didn't know that. But that's pretty much it, man. I mean, self-explanatory. Just pay attention to my gameplays. I drop a lot of knowledge in there for you guys to check out and understand. I'm just so used to running the coaching adjustments. It's pretty much I must run it. Let's just put it that way in my gameplays. Drop a like. Love you guys, man. Peace.